All right. Okay, so welcome to tonight's team call. I'm going to skip all of our announcements and everything because we've got a guest speaker tonight, and I'll let her introduce herself, and I won't run my mouth. But Rynn is one of Jatana's diamond, well, Josh's, but Jatana's diamonds. And her and I got to hang out at our diamond retreat that we went to in September in the Outer Banks. And I wanted her to get on our call just to kind of go over her story with you and where she's been and where she's headed with this business, and give any tips or tricks to you guys that she may find helpful, because none of us can use the excuse of I'm too busy to build a business, because Rynn is doing it. So I'll turn it over to you now, and you can tell everyone a little bit about what your life looks like.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so first of all, I'm sorry it's a little dark and weird here. I am outside of my daughter's cheerleading practice because you can literally run this business from anywhere. I wasn't supposed to be here tonight, but here I am. But you can do it anywhere. So, okay, a little bit about me to give you a little bit of a backstory. And the backstory about me is kind of what I wanted to talk to you about tonight, because I feel like it's the most important thing in people's minds, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, so let's take it back a couple of years. I started this business like just a little bit over 2 years ago. And before that, when I first started stalking Jatana, who is my coach now, I was pregnant with my third child. And like I just knew, you know, after every third child, the weight's not going to come off super easy like maybe it had before. So I was already looking like, what can I do after this? What can I do to lose this weight? So I was looking here and there. And then when I actually had him, I was like, all right, now it's time to get serious. So I posted on Facebook asking all the other moms that I knew, what do you guys do to lose weight? Like, what are y'all doing? Hello, red flag, it's your Beachbody coach. Talk to that person. But I didn't have any coaches as friends. So this random girl sent me a message, and she was like, you really need to follow Jatana Jackson. She posts all this stuff. She does free groups. She does all this stuff. So naturally, I started stalking her. I didn't add her as a friend. I stalked the crap out of her for about a month, and like just watched her. And she did some free challenges, which I snuck into and never participated, didn't do anything. And then when my baby was 4 weeks old, my third child, okay, he was 4 weeks old, I had a 1-year-old daughter also, and then a 5-year-old daughter. When my youngest was 4 weeks old, my husband he went into the Army, so he left for about 8.5 months. We couldn't talk to him, we couldn't see him, no phone calls, nothing. So it was just me and these 3 kids. I was working a full-time job. I was coaching cheerleading. I had these 3 kids. Yes, I was working full-time. I went back to work early because we needed the finances. So life was a little bit nuts, but I was still miserable. I was exhausted. I didn't like what I saw and look in the mirror. I couldn't play with my kids. Like it was not a good time for me. So I was still stalking this other coach. When she posted something about a challenge group, I don't remember what it was exactly, and then I messaged her, Jatana, and you know, she sent me the information about it. We talked back and forth for a bit. She sent me the link. I opened it up, and I was like, oh my God, $160? Nope. So I sent her back a message, and I was like, I'm sorry, but no, I can't do this. Like, that was it. Just no, there was nothing else about it. She sent me a message back saying, well, I'm here if you ever change your mind. So the conversation between us, like if with me being a coach now, that's like okay, she's not going to order ever. But as a person, like a potential challenger, at that moment, I was like, I'm doing whatever I need to do at this point. Like, I need this. I see her. She has kids. She has energy. She's staying home with her kids. Like, I want what she's got. So at that moment, I became so determined. And I was going to do whatever I needed to do to be like her. Like, that was my goal, really, was to be like her. I wanted to be like her. So I started looking through my own personal stuff, actually, looking for what I could sell of mine. It sounds bad, but I did. Like, I was like, all right, yard sales, what can I get rid of? what can I do? Because I want to do this. I need to do this. And I did it slowly but surely. It took a few weeks. I sold the stuff that I needed, and nothing was going to come out of what my family needed. So she posted something else, but this time it was about coaching. And I had no idea that I could do what she did. Like, I didn't know until she posted this post. And so I sent her, or I posted on her thing saying, I'm in, I want in. And so when she sent me, the information back, I did it immediately. And she was kind of like, that's it, you're done, you got it. So it was kind of fast, but she had no idea that in these few weeks' time, that after I told her no, she had no idea that after this few weeks' time, after I told her no, that I was doing everything in my power to find a way to get it done. And that's kind of, if y'all think about it, like when people tell you no, for me, I feel kind of shut down sometimes. And I don't know why, because I was this person that told her no. You can't feel shut down about it. Like, you have to know that some people, if they really want it, they're going to do what they need to do to make it happen, because I was that person. There was no indication from me to her that I was going to work for it, like nothing. I was just like, no, not doing it. So when I actually came back and did it, she was kind of surprised. So just know that there are people like that out there. But one of the main things I want you guys to know is when this happened. When I actually signed up as a coach and a challenger and everything, it was the day before Halloween. So it was in the fall. And I got my stuff in, and I did everything to a T. I lost all my baby weight. My goal was to look fantastic when my husband came back from training with the Army. And I did it. I was back in like pre-pregnancy clothes. I had abs for the first time in my life. Like, I did it to a T. And it was right during Thanksgiving, right during Christmas. It didn't matter because I wanted it bad enough. But if Jatana had not kept posting, if she wasn't persistent, if she didn't keep going in the fall months, I would never be here. I would have never became a coach. I would have never became a diamond coach, obviously. I would have never gotten a diamond coach under me. Hey, Melanie. I would have never, I would have never been transformed personally. I was miserable before Beachbody. And then all this came into my life, and I'm seriously a completely different person now. I can't even tell you guys. I even posted about it just before this call. I can't even explain how different I was before this. Like, no selfies. No. It's hard to believe if you're my friend on Facebook, because that's all I do. Like, I was not comfortable with myself. I didn't like myself. I was miserable, exhausted, and everything. And then this came around. In the fall time, y'all, like in this time right now, all you have to do is keep going. If you are posting about your journey on Facebook, if you are doing your journey, like if you're actually doing it, you're doing the workouts, you're doing the meal plan, at least 80-20, and you're posting about it, the people like me are going to be following you. And it doesn't matter what time of year it is. When they're ready, they're ready. Because I am not one. I am one that loves my Thanksgiving food and my Christmas food and everything else. But I was ready. I was at that point. I was insanely miserable with so much to do, no extra time on my plate. But I was so ready that I made time. The biggest thing that I hear from people is that they're not going to have time to do it. And I really want to laugh at them, because at this point now, I have 4 kids. And if anyone knows what no time is like, it's me. Obviously, I'm sitting outside of cheerleading on this call right now. But when I did first start this, time for me didn't exist. Like, I had to wake up so freaking early to get my workout done. And I had to wake up way early to try to learn how to work this business. I stayed up late. There was no husband around. I didn't have really family that helped me. Every now and then I did have some help. But it was really just me. I was on my own with 3 kids. One was a year old, one was 4 weeks old, and one was 5 years old. Coaching a cheerleading team, working full time, no husband. And I made it work. And literally the most busiest times in my life are when I thrive the most. Somehow, go figure, I became a diamond coach. Like, all these things worked out for me. And it's not just because I'm special, y'all. It's not. It's because I have that determination. And if you have it too, you can do it too. It's not just luck. It's not just being special. It's really if you just work for it. And now is the time to work for it. Because if someone out there is like me, they're watching right now, and now is the time that they could join. So now is not the time to just sit back and not do something. Now is the time to actually show people what you're doing. So if you're kind of slacking right now, I want to urge everyone to jump back in. Like, it doesn't matter if you start over day one. It doesn't matter. Just do it. If you skipped a couple days, just jump back in. Like, whatever workout you're doing, jump back in it. Start over fresh, whatever it takes, because I promise you people are watching, because I was that person 2 years ago. And I would not be here today if it wasn't for the person that was watching. So please, 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 jump back in and do it. And I'm kind of winging this right now, Kelsey. I'm sorry. I actually had a whole PowerPoint that I was going to show y'all.
You're good.
And I have a computer over here, but it's dead. But this was like the main gist of what I wanted to say.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I love that you said that you were in Jatana's free groups and you didn't say anything.
Not a word.
Because I just ran a free group, like a week-long group, and I followed up with people afterwards, even people who didn't participate at all. And I had one girl who was in there, didn't say a word, and she sent me her side-by-side, like before and after, and like pictures of the scale. And like, she took the challenge seriously, but I had no idea she did. And we wouldn't have had any conversation if I didn't go ahead and follow up with her afterwards and start the conversation. Because she wrote right back to me. She thanked me. She sent me her before and after. I can't even get some of my own challengers to do that. And this random girl that I met from my like page is sending me this before and after. And so now we've got like a dialogue going and talking about her goals and getting her set up with a challenge pack. So even though you may not be getting that action or the conversation in your free group or in the messages that you're sending to people, they're seeing them. And when they are ready, they will respond. Or, you know, the things that you're posting on your wall, even though you may not be getting that feedback right now, you could have a Rynn sitting there trying to find stuff to sell so that she can make it happen. So, I do have a question as far as, for especially Amber's one of our new coaches, and she's starting at this time of year. Do you have any advice, or Melanie, you can chime in too. Any advice for new coaches kind of starting out this time of year?
My advice right now for you, and I know as a new coach, I probably would have hated to hear this, so I'm sorry, but it's really the truth. If you right now in this time of year are sticking to your workout, you're doing this meal plan, obviously you're going to have to be cheap, but show people how they can do it without going overboard. But if you're doing this and you're doing it right now in the holidays and you're sharing it on Facebook, if you're not sharing it on Facebook, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Do it, share it. January 1st, probably the week before actually, you're going to explode and you're not going to know what to do, because people are going to look to you. They're resting right now. They're sleeping. They are eating. They are not doing anything that they need to be doing, but they're watching the people that are. They may not know that they're watching, but they're going to have it in their mind. And when their New Year's resolution comes around to lose weight, they're going to know who to look to. And if it's not you, it's going to be someone else. So you really, really, really right now, so take advantage of it. Post about it, do it, be about it. If you are not, they're going to go with someone else who is. And you may not be getting a whole lot of traction right now because it is the slow time for Beachbody. You may be getting some, you may not be getting a lot. But I can guarantee you, if you are posting about it right now, come January, you're going to blow up.
For sure. For sure. I'm ready for January. Let's go.
I know, right? I'm hanging on right now.
Oh, man.
When's January?
Well, Amber, since you're the only other one from our team on this call, do you have any questions for Rynn? I'm putting you on.
Right now, I can't think of any. I guess maybe one would be like how to get people to like respond. Like I'm having a hard time like reaching out to people. Like I know some people I've reached out to, but without like kind of pestering them and feeling like, hey, there's a deadline, like do this, and I don't want to come off salesy. Like no one likes a salesperson. But to at the same time kind of push them and be like, hey, if you really want this to happen and you want to be part of the group and, you know, have that camaraderie, like get it done.
Right. I get it completely. When I first started, I felt way more salesy than anything, and that bugged me completely. And I don't know how you guys run your challenge groups, since I know y'all don't do things the way that Epic does all the time. We do the sneak peeks. Y'all do sneak peeks?
Uh-huh.
Okay. For me, when I've realized when we've started doing the sneak peeks, it kind of helps with that a little bit, just because when, I don't know if y'all do them all together or separate, but when we do them separately and we post in there, you know, when the link goes up, we post a few days before leading up to it, and then the day comes and you post the link and everyone's supposed to go and get it, and you have this done list that everyone comments and they're done. That is kind of the push that works for me when I'm doing the group by myself. That whole post works because when everyone else is watching, done, they're like, jump on it, let me get in this before, and then all my posts saying, you got to get in now, you got to get in now. That works the most for me. But as far as like one-on-one conversation, I'm trying now. Before, when I very first started, obviously I was I was a lot more eager. And so I would kind of word vomit, and that wasn't good at all, and it would really just bite me in the butt. So now I'm finding out the more that I can let them talk to me, the better it works out. And so it's not really more of me coming at them and saying, you know, you need to join right now. If you don't do this right now, you're going to miss out. It's more of me just like getting everything out of them. And I'm not saying that you're doing that at all. But it's more of me, the more I can get out of them, the easier it is kind of for them to join, because they're finding their why in our conversation. So I get out of them, before I talk to them, period, about my challenge group, I get out of them why they want to do it, how much weight they want to lose, and I mean a number, like a number weight or a number dress size. If they don't give me a number, I keep going, because until they have that number in their mind, they're not set on a goal. Like they have to completely be set on a goal before I go into any specifics on my challenge group. So I know what they want. I know when they want to do it. Like I know why they want to do it, everything. And then I go into the group with them. So by the time I send them the information about the group, they're already decided pretty much. And I'm already knowing in my mind, this person isn't going to do it right now, or they're about to jump on this. So it's kind of easier when you do it that way. Like really, really dig deep with them and get so much out of them. Make the whole thing about them completely 100%. And take the Success Club numbers out of it, take the commission out of it, just make it completely about them. And it really, really makes a difference.
That makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of times when I'm talking to people, do you ever have or have you ever had a friend who is asking how you are and like what's going on with you, and they want to know about you, and you walk away from the conversation feeling like, I like her. Like it was all about you. Like they make you feel like you're important. That's what we want to do for all of our prospects. So like Rynn said, you're asking about their goals. You're drawing as much information out of them as you can. And then they feel like they can tell that you actually care about them. You want to help them get to where they want to be. So a lot of times whenever I'm sending them a message back, and keeping the conversation going, I'll end the message with like a question. So it kind of guides them what to say next. Like they have something to answer to keep the conversation going.
Yes, for sure.
But I will definitely say, especially when I was just starting and I didn't really have like the rapport on Facebook, like people hadn't been seeing me posting annoying workout videos for like a year or whatever. People didn't see me posting all this stuff. I was sending out lots of invites, like cold invites, messages, and not getting any responses. And I was just excited that this was this new thing I was doing, and I would just go on to the next person. And some people would write back, some people wouldn't. many of the people that I invited, first off, that never responded to me that February when I started, messaged me like a year later, and they're like, oh, hey, girl, I'm just seeing this. I'm like, yeah, you're lying. But we can talk now. So they do come around. So if nothing else, you're planting those seeds. So just keep going.
Absolutely. Yes. When I first started, and like you, I invited so many people, like especially after I got my first results and I was so excited about it, I told everybody and I invited everybody. And so many people ignored me, so many people, and I could have quit, but I didn't. And really, like a year, 2 year and a half later, some of those people started coming back and I was like, what? Hi, all these people. Like I talked to you forever ago and you ignored me, but they came back. So don't, if you do talk to people and they ignore you, don't let it discourage you, because if I did, I wouldn't be here. Kelsey, I'm sure, is the same. Melanie's the same. I get ignored still, but I've built up such a relationship with all my audience that at this point they kind of know what I'm doing and they know what to expect. So it gets easier when you go on.
And I think also, just in terms of not feeling salesy, is we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Like, we don't want to sound salesy. So we're like, we totally start overthinking things. So sometimes I'll be like, oh gosh, I don't know, especially in the beginning, I'll be like, oh gosh, I don't know how to respond to this. But when I was like, okay, Kelsey, if you were talking to this person in person, like, what would you say? And so, you know, someone who either ignored me and I want to like follow up with them because the next group is coming up, I would just be like, hey girls, I just want to check in. Should I save a spot for you in the group? Like, if not, no worries. It's cool. I can let you know when I'm doing the next one. And really, that's not salesy. It's just like, should I save you a spot? Yes, no, I'm cool with either one. Just tell me. So you just don't put too much pressure on yourself, because half the time when I have a new coach say like, what should I say back to this? And I'm like, well, what are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking you would say back? And they tell me, and I'm like, that's perfect. So don't put too much pressure on, just be yourself. And
that's exactly it. When I think of things, like in my head, I have to tell myself all the time, if you wouldn't say it out loud, don't say it in the message. So in my mind, like out loud, I'm not going to be like, nothing that comes out of my mouth out loud is going to be insanely salesy. It's just not going to. I'm not a salesperson. I don't sell cars. Like, that's not me. So I think about it and I'm like, would I say that out loud to this person if they were in front of me? And if I can say no, then I'm not going to say it, and I would just reword it completely. So just, if you won't say it out loud, don't say it to them.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
mm-hmm.
And then kind of going back to something earlier that I meant to, I think Kelsey made me think of it, but when me and Jatana were first talking, and she was asking all about me, I was like, whoa, wait a second. Like, I have 3 kids, you know, I have to go like, kids? I don't need to tell you, like, hang on. It was something so new to me. I wasn't used to talking about me. I know not everyone you're going to talk to has kids. You may not have kids. I don't know. I know Kelsey only has a fur baby, but I wasn't used to it. And so when someone was actually asking about me, like that touched me on the inside. Like, someone was actually concerned with me. And that really, I think that's what really did it with me, is that she was really concerned with me. And that's what did it. That's why, instead of going to some other, like going to a gym and doing this or whatever, like I went with her. And I've taught Zumba before. Like, I was a Zumba instructor before all of this. I went to the gym. I did everything. So I knew how to lose weight. Like, I knew how, but this is what I needed. And so when she came to me with all of that, I was like, whoa, like that's what really did it for me. So just really care is all there is. Like, just really care for that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. And Amber actually works in the fitness field.
Well, there you go.
So that's why she's such a natural. I mean, you know, goal setting, you know, that people just want to feel like they have someone who believes in them.
Yeah. The hard part for me is like making that transition onto social media, because you've seen my social media beforehand, I didn't do jack squat on there.
That's how I was before too. I know you probably don't believe it, but I was.
So I'm like making that transition. I actually just installed the Facebook app like shortly after I started doing my family's like, really? You post a lot now. And I was like, yeah, but I have to. I got to get back into the habit of doing it.
Like support me. Like my posts, Mom.
My mom forgets her password every single time she logs on. So that's just a lost cause. But the rest of my family's on board.
That's so funny. But yeah, it'll come. You'll build it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Just don't stop.
And when in doubt, get on Snapchat, make a really attractive video. Like
I love that, by the way.
Your video made my whole day. I just want you to know.
Mike came home and was like, Kelsey. Oh man. All right. Well, did you anyone have anything else in general? We good?
No, but thank you so much. Like, I feel a lot better.
You're so cute. Thanks for getting on, Rynn. And thanks for joining us, Melanie. I'm glad you got on because I don't know where our team is. Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you. And get back into cheerleading.
Actually, I think they're letting go early. Hey.
Perfect. Maybe you can get in bed soon.
Nope.
Not in the cards. All right. Let me